It's December 25th, and you know what that means. It's officially Blue Stinger Day. That's right. This Dreamcast classic, and I stress the word classic, actually takes place on Christmas 2018. I've been waiting since the game's 1999 US release for this moment. Most well-adjusted people will say Christmas is about baby Jesus or Santa Claus, but rare specimens like you and me, we take the holiday to pay tribute to mismatched heroes Elliot Ballad and Dogs Bower, and their fateful encounter on the awesomely named Dinosaur Island. It's a long, batshit crazy adventure ahead, so grab yourself a Hassie Cola and official strategy guide, and get cozy. While on vacation, Elliot and his weeaboo buddy Tim are hanging out on a boat when a meteor pierces the sky and upon impact, not only creates an impenetrable force field around the island, but also divides their boat in two. With nowhere else to turn, Elliot heads to the shore. Witnessing this, local cargo supplier and tough guy Dogs teams up with Elliot to find out why everyone on the island has mutated into monsters, what the deal is with Nephilim, the alien ghost waifu following them around everywhere, and most importantly, how to get the hell out. Assisting the duo is Janine, a tough, no-nonsense badass who's a crack shot and doesn't take crap from anybody. She's so awesome, in fact, that the game never removes her from the island's control center for the duration of the adventure. She's mostly there to give you directions and sound concerned over the radio. Heading into Lab Town, Elliot and Dogs fight their way through a horde of creatures, collecting money River City Ransom style, and using that money on vending machines to buy everything from hamburgers to bazookas. Proof that vending machines are, in fact, more useful than Amazon Prime. You can also rescue various survivors of the catastrophe who will sometimes give you information or items to help you on your way. The most noteworthy being Rats, proprietor of Rats Bar, voiced by none other than Duke Nukem himself, John St. John, or as I affectionately call him, Danziver. Navigating your way through Hello Market, a city area including a Sega arcade, a massive underground research facility, and finally a perilous climb up the tower belonging to nefarious organization Kimra. There is a healthy variety of locales to keep things interesting, which is good, because the one thing I dislike about Blue Stinger is the absurd amount of backtracking and fetch quests you get sent on. Early in the game, there's a security gate you can't get past, so you have to spend the better part of an hour going the long way through a freezer that's full of enemies, only to come out literally on the other side of the wall. It would be funny if it weren't so irritating. Speaking of being funny, this game excels at it. Now, I doubt a lot of the laughs are intentional, but that makes me love it even more. The ill-fitting music, the weird dialogue that reads like it was written by Google Translate, and the absolute bromance that develops between Elliot and Dogs are totally endearing. All of it is so earnest that you really will become won over by the end. In the late 90s, survival horror was all the rage, and the brainchildren at Activision were aware of that fact. Know this. It is not survival horror, or really even that scary for that matter. It is, above all else, an action game. You're never at any real risk of running out of ammo or health items. And even if you somehow were, you can farm infinitely respawning enemies for sweet, sweet coins. The combat, while janky as hell, becomes more enjoyable the further you progress. You start off with boring conventional stuff like a handgun and a crossbow, but it isn't long before you get things like a napalm launcher, a railgun, a Gatling gun I've honorarily named Old Painless, and even a goddamn lightsaber. Half the fun is trying out different weapons on different monsters and seeing what happens. As busted as the controls and camera are, there are genuine moments when the action can be purely satisfying. Most sources will cite Blue Stinger as an American launch title for the legendary Dreamcast, but this is only partially true. Trying to beat heavy hitters like Sonic Adventure and Soul Calibur to the punch, Activision released it a week before the Dreamcast went live, which might have been a smart move considering Blue Stinger ended up selling over 500,000 copies. Not bad for a bizarre, niche game from a developer that most people had never heard of. Shinya Nishigaki, the visionary genius behind the experience, only did one other game after this, the horror epic Illbleed. He passed away not long after the Dreamcast was discontinued, and as such, no follow-ups or a planned HD remake of Blue Stinger for the Xbox ever came to be. It's a shame, because with a revamped control scheme and a visual overhaul, Blue Stinger could really find a dedicated audience. Instead, you gotta deal with freaks like me who revel in this stuff. So join me in this day of celebration, while the rest of the world watches Jimmy Stewart have a mental breakdown while getting cheered on by his family and friends. You and I will instead do karate moves, drink enough soda to collapse our kidneys, shoot the crap out of giant monsters, and take a nice, relaxing bath. Blue Stinger, here's to you.
Nephilim is following us. Seems like she's in love with you.
2 girls and a guy. I see trouble in the near future.
In your dreams.